The dark side of the fast food industry. Have you ever thought about what goes into the quick and easy meals you get at your favorite fast food chain? The business world doesn't want you to see the world behind the scents and ads that make you want to buy. How does this huge, secretive business keep its information hidden? What effects might it have on your health and the environment? We're about to show you the bad side of the fast food business, which could change the way you plan your next meal. Any individual who is interested in learning the truth about junk food and how it impacts our health ought to read the book Fast Food Nation, which was published not too long ago, but is considered a classic in its genre. It was in the early years of the 20th century in the United States when hamburger and hot dog stands were the first to open, marking the beginning of the fast food industry, which eventually spread to other countries across the world. The amount of money that Americans spend on fast food is greater than the amount that they spend on higher education, computers, new automobiles, movies, books, magazines, and newspapers come together. 3 decades later, they were spending $110 billion on fast food, which was a significant increase from the $6 billion they spent on it in 1970. This is a book about fast food, the values it embodies, and the world it has made, says the author, Eric Schlosser, who is of the opinion that the cuisine of a nation might be more illuminating than the art or literature of that society. The fast food sector has rapidly altered not only the American diet, but also the country's landscape, economy, workforce, and popular culture. This transformation has occurred in a relatively short period of time. As a matter of fact, 3/4 of a family's budget was allocated to the preparation of meals at home in the last generation. In today's world, 50% of the money is spent at fast food restaurants. It should come as no surprise that McDonald's Corporation is the greatest consumer of beef and potatoes in the United States, as well as the largest owner of retail property in the entire world. In consequence of this, it has even surpassed Coca-Cola as the most well-known brand in the entire world. The fundamental idea that underpins fast food has evolved into the operating system of the modern retail sector, resulting in the elimination of small enterprises, the elimination of regional distinctions, and the proliferation of identical locations across the nation, like a self-replicating code. At this point, almost every aspect of life in the United States has been franchised. In addition, this movement is increasingly becoming widespread across the globe. The same boutiques and fast food outlets can be found in the largest malls across the world. Shopping has lost its excitement as a result of the fact that the selection of items is the same everywhere in the world. Customers are drawn to well-known brands for a number of reasons, the most important of which is that they provide a sense of comfort, as their products are consistently and uniformly the same everywhere. As a result of fast food, rural life in the United States has been transformed. Family farms are being phased out in favor of mega corporations that operate farmland. The middle class is disappearing from rural regions, and tiny towns are becoming into homogeneous neighborhoods. In order to maintain a fast food sector that is not only economical but also convenient and delicious, this is the price that must be paid. Every single day, hundreds of millions of people buy fast food without giving it any thought. They are oblivious of the subtle and not so subtle repercussions that their purchases have. When they eat this food, they rarely think about where it came from or how it was prepared. Eric Schlosser explains, "I've written this book because I believe that people should know what lies behind the shiny, happy surface of every fast food transaction. This belief is the driving force for the book's creation." As a matter of fact, the foods that we eat have undergone more transformations in the past 40 years than they have in the previous 40,000 years. The food that is supplied to a fast food restaurant has undergone a complete transformation. It is now delivered frozen, canned, dehydrated, or freeze-dried. Nevertheless, the flavor of McDonald's French fries has garnered accolades from customers as well as from critics of the food industry. A component that is referred to as natural flavor or artificial flavor is the component that is responsible for the delicious flavor of the fries and the majority of the fast food. Some of the procedures that are used to treat food, such as canning, freezing, and dehydrating, completely remove the flavor of the item. The fast food franchises would not exist if it were not for the flavor industry, which is responsible for imparting a pleasant flavor to processed foods. The flavor industry, on the other hand, is notoriously secretive. The quick-service restaurant chains do not want their consumers to be aware that the flavors of their meals were developed in a factory rather than in the kitchens of their restaurants. It is permissible for the Food and Drug Administration to let businesses to maintain the confidentiality of their formulated products. This is a practical way to conceal the fact that flavor compounds typically have a greater number of components than the meals that are being used to impart their flavor. There are at least 49 components that go into making a normal artificial strawberry flavor, which is comparable to the kind that is found in a strawberry milkshake sold at Burger King. In comparison to the majority of items, soft drinks include a higher percentage of flavor additives, which is an interesting fact to know. The quick service restaurant sector has made an effort to incorporate exclusively natural flavors into their products for the past 30 years. The differentiation, on the other hand, is based more on the manner in which the taste has been prepared than on the components that it actually includes. More than that, a natural flavor is not necessarily better for your health than an artificial one, and the same chemical facility is responsible for the production of both types of flavors. The flavors of the majority of the food that is consumed in the United States and exported to other countries are developed by a select number of scientists who are referred to as flavorists. The creation of a flavor is accomplished by a flavorist through the combination of dozens of chemicals in order to provide a taste that will elicit consumer likability. It is the chicken. The chicken nugget is a fast food item that has not only altered the diet of the American people, but also altered the breeding and processing methods for poultry. At the present time, 90% of the chicken that is sold in the United States is sliced into pieces, cutlets, or nuggets, in contrast to 30 years ago, when the majority of chicken was sold in its whole form. McNuggets are little chunks of reconstituted chicken that are manufactured from white meat that is held together with stabilizers through the process of breading, freezing, and then reheating. They were first presented by McDonald's in 1983. As a result of their delicious flavor and the fact that they were simple to consume, they became extremely popular among young children. This was the primary reason for their success. Their fat content, on the other hand, is twice as high per ounce as that of a hamburger. The 1980s saw a significant increase in the amount of advertising directed toward youngsters in the United States. One of the reasons for this is because it is believed that a person's brand loyalty begins as early as the age of 2, and it is difficult to get rid of a taste for fat that was acquired during infancy when one is an adult. Although the fast food restaurants were expanding their operations internationally, they continued to focus on young children. One study that looked at advertisements for children in the European Union showed that 95% of the advertisements for food encouraged children to consume foods that were heavy in sugar, salt, and fat. McDonald's was the corporation that ran the most advertisements that were directed toward youngsters. While the rise in popularity of fast food can be attributed to globalization, it appears that whenever American fast food corporations spread their operations, people's waistlines begin to expand as well. I have a hope that future historians would consider the American fast food sector to be a relic of the 20th century. It is a collection of attitudes, practices, and beliefs that originated from the post-war southern region, which saw a brief period of prosperity before beginning to decline once its full costs were revealed. Anything that takes the place of the fast food industry ought to be local, diverse, genuine, sustainable, profitable, and modest. Eric Schlosser makes the following conclusion: despite all evidence to the contrary, I continue to be optimistic. Consumers are becoming increasingly concerned about issues such as food safety, animal welfare, and environmental issues ever since the book was being written. It is possible that McDonald's and KFC will see their days of dominance coming to an end if they do not begin presenting menu choices that are both healthier and more inventive. Not only is low pricing becoming a deciding factor for customers in general, but food quality is also becoming an increasingly important consideration. More and more people are willing to go to greater lengths in order to increase the level of satisfaction they derive from their experiences. An emerging pattern indicates that independent restaurants are capturing a sizable portion of the market share. This is not to argue that fast food franchises are falling off a cliff, but rather that they are gaining market share. The expansion of the sector is being driven by so-called casual dining chains, which provide customers with the opportunity to sit down and enjoy a meal that is properly served. Want to learn more about the hidden truths behind what you eat? Subscribe now and uncover the secrets the fast food industry doesn't want you to know.